Hey friends, I thought it would be a good time to walk through my first 6 months with the Hobonichi Cousin Planner. There's a few things from here that I've already moved into my new planner for the second half of the year, but I'll still talk about it briefly, and you can see the full setup of the new planner in my last video, which I will link in the corner. But yeah, so here's my first 6 months. I did put a vellum sheet under this Midori cover, and then I have a few stickers here. But this was where I kept all my sticky notes. I've just moved them all into my next planner. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about like every single page in detail, but if you have questions about anything, please feel free to let me know. I'm happy to tell you where anything is from or answer any questions. So if you follow me on Instagram, you already know I like tracking all of the things. So this time I decided to use this as kind of like a habit / mood tracker. The top has like social media stuff. And then on the bottom here are just like important pages, but I almost like never went back to look at those. I used these 6 months as a future log, keeping track of things that would be important for the coming 6 months. And then here's my monthly pages. I do miss having like the months and the weeks kind of like mixed together, but in July, I just use this as like kind of resolutions and goals. And then the very beginning of the planner, I use the 2020 space to do like pen tests because I haven't used this planner before. So getting used to the paper, seeing how different kinds of like stamp ink would be, and things like that. So yeah. I do use a lot of Hobonichi Weeks stickers in here, just because I have a ton of kits that I bought for my small passion planner, and never used, so I had to find somewhere to use them. But this is like a Hobonichi Cousin kit. This one's a Weeks kit. I love these kits by Peachy Green Paper. Full boxes, if people are curious, fit fine without cutting on the sidebar here. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, because there's like a little bit of margin, so the boxes kind of overflow and you don't have to trim them. But if you look on Saturday, for example, without trimming, the box does flow a little bit into the 2 days next to it, but it's not huge. And then actually earlier, I think with the Simply Gilded week, I actually trimmed these two to fit into the box. So a standard full-size box is 1.5 inches, and the Hobonichi Cousin widths are 1.3 inches. So. And then here we go. I had this page as a order tracker, so when I ordered it, when it was shipped, when I got it. These are just some calendars to track like how often I'm charging my watch and things like that. I do love having the daily pages because it's fun to like swatch washi on the day that I get things, and just to have more space to do like random notes and stuff. I rarely use these as actual daily pages just because I don't feel like I have that much to write that's like specific to a single day. But I did use these. Usually Sunday became a weekly to-do list for the whole week, and there's a lot of different formats as time went on, but that works better for me than to use them as actual like daily pages. So yeah, this is a different weekly. And then sometimes the stuff is like specific to that day, but a lot of times it's just like whatever I had space for. So I had just gotten new pens, so of course I had to do an inventory and swatching. You know, got my sub box. This was because I was tracking like chapters to read in a book. And this was just mentally for me the easiest way to do that. Nail polish works well with the paper. It doesn't. You actually can't see on the other side at all. This is one of my absolute favorite pages. I have all of the different sub-kit themes from sub-boxes that I've subscribed to. So this is for Some Little Things. This one's from Happy Diet. Ooh, actually, I just got that tape in yesterday, so I'm going to grab it and swatch that real quick for completeness sake. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite pages in my whole planner. I've even used this to I was rearranging the study, so I cut out, it's the room that I'm in right now, and got to move some furniture around to see how it would look. And then in February, I started doing these summaries of all the books that I had read that month. So that's kind of fun. You'll notice that I have been reading this book literally since the end of last year, and I'm still not done with it. But in March, I did a lettering challenge by Carrots and Olives Art. And so you'll see little plant doodles and stuff on each of the pages, which was a lot of fun. And I actually did pretty good with staying with it. I have a friend that I do a monthly washi swap with. So these are the samples that she sent me. I tried to start tracking some of my plants, but didn't. I never came back to this page, and I actually changed stuff up maybe 3 days after I made that. So, that's how it goes. So there's the March book tracker. This is printed on vellum and tipped in. I have a bunch of pen swatches. So this was when I discovered that the Jetstream was being a little weird on the paper. So if you notice, in the very beginning, right here, you see that the paper is kind of yellowing. And I started noticing that in April, or maybe the end of March. So I was starting to experiment with maybe using a different type of pen. But I realized that because I had so many things in the planner that were throughout, that were, from the beginning, I didn't want to have two different pens on the same page. So I ended up deciding that I would just use that pen for the rest of this planner. This is testing different permanent markers, and I actually really liked this because I knew which permanent marker to grab if I was trying to write on washi versus I'm trying to write on sticker paper. And so I actually copied this into my new planner as well. These were different brush pens. This is when I ordered and got all my foils, and that was fun. So I actually printed the laser squares onto sticker paper so that I could put them into my planner. There's the April books read. May, this is by With Wool and Flax. This is another one of my favorite pages. I was getting a lot of mail in and getting a little stressed about which kits I've used or haven't used yet, because I may have gone a little overboard with ordering things. And so these are all the different digitals that I have, the generic kits. These are things that are very 1.5 inch box kits. Vertical kits and stuff, cousin size kits, Hobonichi Weeks kits, and then there's some things where I just have full boxes. So it was really helpful to see all of that laid out. I don't think I'm going to do exactly the same thing again because I don't want to keep using stickers from certain kits just to keep track of them. But I do want to do something in my next planner. But since I'm stamping for the month of July, I figured that can be a problem for August. And then I was trying to do something with every page, but eventually things got a little hectic, especially in May, so that I start to have some more blank pages than I did earlier. This was, if you were following in May, I did a takeover on Planner Med's Instagram story. So I jotted down some ideas. This was a packing list, my first trip since COVID. This was kind of keeping my brain straight. I wanted to be able to see the whole trip in one view. And it's hard when you have, it was like 12 days. So, you can't really display 2 weeks well in calendar, especially since it went from the end of May to the end of to the beginning of June. So this was really helpful for me to visualize what was happening. There's my May books, June calendar. And then this was in preparation for Stamp Your Planner July. I decided to swatch all of my inks. And these were newer, so I hadn't actually used them in the planner before and discovered that, probably wouldn't want to be using those. So these two are both, I believe, pigment inks. So you'll see it does well in that, like, it didn't leak onto the other side, but it definitely sits really dark on the paper in comparison to the chalk inks. So these were all done with Versamagic. And even this one where I got a little heavy-handed with the ink, you still really can't see it on the other side. So, stamping tips. My friend sent me a lot of washi at one. So, this was from pre-sale from Simply Gilded. Y'all, the ink is beautiful. Oh yeah, these are my friend's order, and then these were my orders. We did a split together. And then another packing list, summary of June, and then back pages. So here was a board game tracker. These are the numbers of the weeks, so it goes up to 26, the different games that I played. I did mix it up a little bit in the new planner, so I decided to do this kind of situation on the graph page instead. And also, it was funny, actually, when I was setting this up, I think I forgot that it was only going to be for half a year. So I was getting ready to, do a second line and then realized that, oh, I only need this planner through the end of June. So this was different shows and movies that we watched, which I clearly thought I was going to need a lot more space than just that. Hair product wish list, bubble tea tracker. This is a printed tracker for all the Tombow markers I have, which I feel like when I pulled them all out, it's like this many markers and it feels like a lot. Then you swatch them on a page like this and you're like, oh, I clearly don't have that many markers. I use the timetable to track things that should happen once a month. It kind of worked in the beginning, and then I got lazy, as you can see. I tried tracking the favorite books or shows that we watched that month. I didn't really love that. I clearly didn't do anything with the graph page. So these two are, this is actually going to be where my board game tracker is for the next planner. And I might use this space to keep track of new games that I've played, and whether or not I want to put them on a list to purchase eventually. These are my books read. Those are the ones I actually read. This is my never-ending TBR, but these are books that I actually have on hand, so probably either I have the physical book or I have it checked out on my Kindle. Did some color swatching because I wasn't going to use the Japanese pages anyways, so figured it was a nice way to see how each of these markers looked on the Hobonichi paper. And then highlighters. These are other Tombow brush pens. And I didn't really use these. I really like this calendar from the Passion Planner, and so that's something I carried over. I just kind of use it to track random things, like when I open a new toiletry thing, how often I'm doing laundry, things like that. And then under here, I have a bunch of addresses for planner friends and people that I would send mail to. And yeah, that is mostly it. In the back here, I have a piece of vellum that's attached to a sticker paper, and so I use this to just throw random stickers, things from samplers that I don't like. It was the last sticker, didn't know where to use, or when I was traveling, be I don't want to bring the whole sheet, but maybe I want 2 of those stickers. I just got to stick them here and carry them around with me. And so yeah, that is it. My first 6 months in my Hobonichi Cousin. I really love the planner. I got this Avec version because I wasn't sure if I would want to use it for the second half of the year. But I do like it a lot. There's a few things that I think two things that annoy me the most. One is I wish the months weren't like all together and then the weeks all together. I wish those were like mixed where you could have like, the January and then the 4 weeks of January right after it. And then the paper is definitely takes some getting used to. You can like has the really satisfying crinkle sound, especially when you're flipping like one page at a time. But it definitely doesn't do gel pen as well. So it's like gel pens smear really easily, especially if they try to highlight on them. And yeah, I think that is, and the paper is kind of yellow. So if you compare it to like just normal white paper, I'm not sure if the lighting's good, but you can tell that this paper is like a lot yellower. So that's kind of annoying sometimes, but it doesn't bother me as much when I see it in person as when I'm trying to take pictures and all my pictures are done in different lighting. And so it like looks really weird, but yeah, those are my only two complaints. I think next year I want to switch into the full year version because there's a lot of these like back pages that I set up that would be nice to like only do once and to be able to see this for a whole year. But I am also a little afraid of how chunky it might get if I go to a full year version. So I think I'm like 90% decided, not 100% sure, but yeah, if you are a Hobonichi Cousin user, let me know. Would you prefer the Avec, the full year? Tell me why. Just sway me. Especially as I think I've heard Hobonichi is about to release the calendar in August and the new planners in September. I'd love to know your thoughts. So yeah, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to drop them below or find me on Instagram at A Week in the Life, and you'll be able to see more updates on how I'm using my new planner. Bye.